screen watching.
Watch on our screen, and we're live now.
Oh,
All right, everybody, it's Unite Ohio. We are responding to the article in the Columbus Dispatch about the rally that happened in Whitehall, Ohio for Miss Lease. For those of you who don't know, Miss Lease was, oh, by the way, my name is Jeremy Dieter, and we have a guest today from the Guardians of Society. His his name is Doc, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the perspective from the Guardians of Society and what they think about this article. But let me set this up. We went out. Watch on our screen, and we're live now. Oh wait, I gotta mute my. All right, everybody, it's Unite YouTube. Ohio. We are responding to. Sorry, I was hearing myself. Okay, so the Columbus Dispatch published an article tonight that named us as anti-government, and then after that um, they posted that we were. Excuse me. It was kind of a strange article. Some of it was kind of nice. Some of it wasn't, and we could read a few responses, but let's get to some of the things here that are most important and what people want to know about. We went out to Whitehall after Miss Lease was told that she was no longer allowed to fly her flag. Unite Ohio contacted all the other Patriot organizations. One that showed out in full force and exemplary professionalism would be the Guardians of Society. They performed the flag ceremonies and handled them with care. They brought color guard. They, true professionals. They came out and really made the event what it was supposed to be, and made it memorable for everybody who was there for those ceremonies. And then we get this from the Columbus Dispatch saying that they're an anti-governmental group. Now, because this has happened, we would like to explain a couple of things about ourselves and see where we can go from there. Unite Ohio is an umbrella community of several other patriot groups. It does not turn people away because of their affiliations, religion, or skin color. And we're not going to turn somebody away that exercises their American right to own a firearm. We just want to address this concern of us being perceived as negative, and when that's not what we represent. We never did or said anything out there that would give that perception of us. Not one time. To the contrary, we have a video that states actually quite a pro-government view, where we want to use our system to be able to make it better. We were given a suggestion by the New Life man run and own the residents over there to contact a state representative, because we thought that the rental office was in violation of the law. The rental office thought that Miss Lease was in violation of the law. Their suggestion was to contact a state representative and have a bill where we can make it to where we can fly the American flag without impunity, which we were pretty sure that we had. But we said, all right, we're going to take their suggestion and see if we can write up the bill and then contact a state representative. So that was kind of, where we were going, and we wanted to make it, we were still going to do it, the U.S. flag and our state flag in Ohio. And we were just kind of gearing towards that, and then this article came out, and, we really need the help of the Dispatch because, like I said, we never did or said anything to create that perception of us. We're asking for the assistance of the Columbus Dispatch in correcting the public perception that obviously we know is out there, but that can harm our true intentions and desires as we function and try to help those that are in need in this state. However, excuse me, we also want to ask for their help in breaking the stereotype and the negative perceptions that are in society. And it doesn't help when we have reporters that are also buying into that. So we really need their help. Um, Let me see. We would like another opportunity for another article or something if the press can contact us. We were familiar with the other journalist, not the one that wrote this article. So we don't have any contact information for this journalist. Our true and actual intentions, we want to re-educate our citizenry, our neighbors, our friends and family about our negative perception. And with that article, we really weren't given that opportunity. Um, we believe that this could cause direct harm to our group, our name, possibly our members, or credibility in the community. This can kill our opportunities to help the other citizens. When we went out there to help Miss Lease, I mean, that's what we went out there to do. We weren't trying to harm anybody. And the Columbus Dispatch wrote that we're anti-government, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's what we were seeing in the posts that people were writing to the Columbus Dispatch. All of us are kind of looking for clarification. You know, how is it that was somebody there that said they were anti-government and said they were with us, but they were still there for the flag ceremony? It doesn't make sense. We don't understand where they're getting this, and it's counterproductive to what we're trying to get done. If we want to re-educate people, if we want to get rid of this negative perception, we're going to need your help to do so. We want to help this community. This community wants our help, as you can see. We had so many other residents calling out to us, hey, you know, we really appreciate you being here. Out of the 250 flags that were donated to us by the flag lady on North High Street, we got, you know, we gave out half of them to kids and everything else. So it's just, you know, to say that we're anti-government, you know, and then you mentioned that there were people there that were armed and things. Yeah, there were people there that were armed expressing their American rights. Unite Ohio is always going to say, please express your rights, express your freedoms. You know, I mean, that's what we're about, you know, a patriot organization. And so we really don't understand. You know, we thought that we had a good working relationship with the media. We thought that, you know, it was great to have the media helping us with Miss Lease if the media wasn't the driving force. And then now we're confused. We're not exactly sure where this is coming from. I want to read to everybody what was written, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. I won't say who wrote it because I don't have permission to, but this person is a writer, and when I read this to you, you'll be able to tell it. Oh, your computer is on. Okay. So this is to the journalist at the Columbus Dispatch. And I'm not going to say who this is from. I don't have the liberty to do that. Thank you for showing enough interest in a deserving senior citizen to write an article about the courageous and gentle Mrs. Julia Lease. I have followed your career with interest for a number of years. And I'm reading this so that everybody knows. I mean, I didn't write this. I can't write this well. I wish that I could. I would give up things to write this well. This is somebody that supports us and really understands what we're about, and they have the same question that we do. So that's why I'm reading this. I have followed your career with interest for a number of years, speaking about the editor, and have appreciated your advocacy for people with disabilities and the aged, two populations that have been of particular interest to me for many years. I do have to ask you a question, however. What gave you the idea that any one of the people who rallied in support of Julia Leese's right to display an American flag protected by a federal statute were anti-government or represented anti-government groups? It truly puzzles me. I'm reading this. I'm reading this, so you know it's not me. I worked for the state of Ohio DODD, formerly ODMRDD, for 27 years, have a master's in public administration from The Ohio State University, taught public administration at Franklin University, and have been on the director's advisory for the Department of Aging. I wrote $5 million in grants to help aging parents of people with developmental disabilities. This is significant because Miss Lease takes care of another woman, and Miss Lease is 86 years old. She's like the best of the best parts of all of us. With developmental wrote $5 million in grants to help aging parents of people with developmental disabilities and promoted the productivity of citizens with developmental disabilities for 40 years. I am now a freelance writer on American history and provide free consultation on aging in place and caregiver support. I have made a personal acquaintance with each person in the gathering at Mrs. Lee's home. If anything, these people lean to the side of the rule of law and government, accountability, and non-discrimination. I hope you can clarify for me how these things are anti-government. I must hazard a guess that the term anti-government comes more directly from a narrative promoted by a minority within the progressive movement that has been promoted: the ponderous enlarging of federal government, the weakening of state government autonomy, homogeneity in local governance models, with a further resulting decline in grassroots power and flexibility to meet unique local needs. The same minority has attached tags to citizen grassroots movements that include racism and claim that these groups are run by money from rich white male corporate plutocrats. These ideas might sound plausible to you, but I feel very confident informing you that they are false notions. The fact is, a group of people finding one another at a time, with no real prior social connections, who are truly modest personal means, with no money coming from anywhere but their own pockets, were brought to a deep sadness that an 86-year-old lady couldn't enjoy freedom of expression due to a spurious idea that somehow America's banner is a property defacing eyesore. These people traveled at their own expense from all corners of Ohio because they love America and people like Julia, and that is absolutely true. We had people from the Cincinnati area. We had people from Marion County. That's north and south. So it's absolutely true. You might not be aware that you met Zach, a father of a biracial child. There's also a Hispanic veteran, and due to a recent head injury, he wasn't able to attend. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing. That if you took a poll, the age range of the people there, if you took a poll, the age range was from 75 down to 13. The gathering was diverse in religious association from every major and minority segment, including no religion. Think about that. It baffles me that people who have fervent feelings for the U.S. and state constitutions and obey all laws can be thought to be anti-government. You're going to have to help me here. I'm really stumped. In any event, I will acknowledge that news articles serve multiple purposes. It is your call. I feel good that Miss Lease won't have to hire an attorney to know that the U.S. government was on her side in her distress because one of the citizens knew flag law. He's the anti-government guy, a veteran, to whom I think one small thing is due, and not from Mrs. Lease. She already smiled at him. Why the frown? I'm stumped. And that tells you. That's it. That's the end of it. Yeah, goosebumps. You're not kidding. I mean, and that's not from us. That's from somebody else. And they have the exact same questions that we do, Columbus Dispatch. We want to know why we were presented in this light. We want to know if somebody spoke to you and said, hey, this is who I am and I'm with this group. We want to know what happened because it's obviously not us. Unite Ohio doing a flag ceremony is anti-government. It just doesn't even make sense, and it can't be a typo. It can't be. That's impossible. So this is a perception, maybe, or maybe you got two stories confused. I have no idea, but it really doesn't make any sense. So it just looks as though someone else's beliefs were being promoted. The story wasn't being reported on. It was like, here's this function. but I'm gonna create my own story to it. You know, it's not fair. It takes away from Miss Elise and what she did, the courage and strength that she shown, you know, to everybody. Um, and then last thing before I pass it over to the guardians of society, um, this could have harmed our credibility. I want to say this again, it's important. It may have cost us members. We won't know until tomorrow. It just came out, so we won't know until tomorrow. Community support, obviously. I mean, think about it. If everybody thinks we're anti-government, that could kill Unite Ohio. You know, it's the opposite of what we're trying to do. I mean, you know, feel about it however you want. Funding, political intervention, additional media coverage, it could have promoted physical harm on all of us. Now think about that. Think about the age ranges that were reported there, 75 to 13. And then the irresponsible, and I'm trying not to get angry, but the irresponsible reporting could have put any of those people in harm's way. Think about that. They didn't read the article. They were unaware. They understand what Unite Ohio is. They support us. They come out. They're patriotic. And then another group shows up and says, oh, there's the anti-government people. I don't care that he's 75. I don't care that she's 13. This is pretty egregious, and we're very concerned about this. We uh, we don't want physical harm on us, and we don't want to be attacked because we've been, you know, labeled as anti-government. Um, our actions and our activities could be possibly investigated now by the federal government, and that's quite a bit of harm to us, you know, to have the federal government, and not to mention it's a waste of taxpayers' dollars. It's a complete freaking waste. But think about this. Think about all of the implications that this one inference has made, Columbus Dispatch. We beg you, we implore you to please set this record straight. You know, let us know what happened. Let us know if somebody approached you. The professionalism that was shown by all militia that were there was unbelievable at all times. The color guard, the flag ceremonies. This is a reason to be proud, and you're robbing us of that. And you know, we want to know. We want to know what happened. We want to know where, you know, we thought we had a good working relationship with the media. Everything was respectful, and then this story came out. So before I get too emotional about this, Doc, if I could pass this over to you, and you can let us know what the Guardians that worked hard at that rally think about how we can, you know, get the dispatch to you know, or what they think about this. So go ahead, please.
Well, first, I would like to say that I think you hit the nail right on the head. It doesn't make any sense. Um, if we were anti-governmental, um, we wouldn't be doing a flag ceremony. I mean, that's literally the largest icon of our government is the American flag. So if we were anti-governmental, probably would not be doing a governmental regulated ceremony with a governmental regulated folding with a governmental regulating presentation. Need I go on with that?
I'm trying to keep it together, but it really is it really is that out there, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Uh, there's the reason we did the presentation, and which we worked hard for it to be professional. We worked hard for it to be correct.
Yeah.
Accuracy is a big thing with something like that. If you walk up and were to present a flag to a veteran and it was wrong, they'd probably have a problem with it, wouldn't they?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, my father and I, which My apologies. I guess I should introduce myself formally first. My name is William Mollett. Most people just call me Doc. Um, my father and I are the co-founders of Guardians of Society. We're a community improvement group. Hey, look, another thing that doesn't make sense. Community improvement, yes, they're anti-government. Go figure. Um, but we we both being veterans have already been uh, introduced to the procedures behind this ceremony. However, the militia that was working with us on the ceremony, we spent countless hours. We spent several hours working with them to get this right because they wanted to give the best presentation that they could for Mrs. Lease. They thought they knew it was knowing they owed that to her. She stood up for what she believed in. She wanted to she just wanted to fly her flag, and those are her words. She wanted to fly the flag. And so the only thing we could do to make that appropriate was to make it as professional as possible and make it as accurate as possible. And they worked hard for that. They know, as far as, again, with the confusion, as far as I know, no one said anything about being anti-government. I know no one from my organization, and I know that no one from the militia said anything about being anti-government. Um, that would kind of be both counterproductive and counterintuitive. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Um,
and the rest of the people that were there were there. You know, there was a lot of women, there was a lot of children, there were families, there were a couple people with their dogs. I'm not exactly sure, and there were
right.
residents. I'm not exactly sure who was supposed to be the anti-government one.
It was the dog. Yep. I solved the mystery. It was the little dash hound in the sweater.
Well, you know, we appreciate the Guardians coming out and looking over and making sure that that ceremony honored everyone who has ever done that ceremony and witnessed that ceremony. You know, you guys brought honor to that. You guys brought honor to the whole evening, and for it to be spoken about in such a way, it just I think it's broken people's hearts, to be honest.
Oh, it broke my heart. Don't get me wrong. I truly appreciate getting the coverage because that's how people find out about these things. That's how these stories get out there. But whenever I open an article and I'm reading it, and the only thing that comes to mind is, wait, what? That I'm sorry. That me personally, the actually my entire organization, the Guardians of Society, none of us ultimately cared about if we got recognition. Don't get me wrong, we're grateful that our name got out there and was put in the article. But at the same time, this wasn't about us. This wasn't about the militia. And I love United Ohio, but ultimately, as I'm sure you would agree, ultimately it wasn't about you guys either.
That's
It
right.
was about Mrs. Lease.
Yep. And that flag.
Absolutely. It was about her standing up for her rights and her and the American flag. Now, that article that kind of takes away from Mrs. Lease and her courage and the American flag. Now, I want to touch base on. Uh, oh, before I forget about the children, um, 13 wasn't the youngest.
I was going to say that too because my daughter was there and she's younger than that.
Yep. There were a few that were in the 6, 7, and 8 age range. Um, there were,
I was just told there were toddlers there too.
yeah, there were.
I mean, think about the implication, right? These same families come out because they had such a powerful experience at that flag ceremony, right? And that really
Right.
stays with them. So they really want to support Unite Ohio, and they come out with us, but somebody's been labeled as anti-government, and now there's toddlers that could possibly be harmed. This is not okay for an organization that is our whole thing, the whole deal for Unite Ohio is to help the citizenry of the state, right? What we were
Yeah.
able to do when people found out about us and they notified us, they said, we believe we've identified a weakness in the law, is what our guys said when we were presented with this flag situation. Then we found out that either the rental office was violating the law or Mrs. Lease was violating the law. So I believe it was your father who even said on video, on camera, that, okay, the rental office, New Life Properties, was like, hey, you guys need to find a state rep to pass this law. It's exactly what he said, you know? I mean, that's not
Yes.
anti-government. That's the opposite of anti-government. That's freaking pro-government. That's using the
Absolutely.
function of government. It's just it doesn't make any sense.
Which I believe it was actually one of uh, the estate's lawyers that recommended that to Mrs. Lease.
Yes.
And yes, absolutely. And I personally think that that is an avenue that needs to be pursued. Um, like my father said on video, there needs to be legislation passed that does not allow the restriction of the U.S. flag and the state flag. Those are those are iconic to the respective state and to the nation. If that doesn't say if that's anti-government, then we need to just stop what we're doing now. And then also, I would like to touch base on the inclusion of the fact that there were people who were open carrying holstered weapons in the crowd. Yeah. Last I checked, that was allowed not only by the Second Amendment of our nation's Constitution, the ninth, I believe it is the ninth article in the Ohio Constitution, and there is a rather large section in the Ohio Revised Code that all states, well, I mean, that stating as in says that in Ohio, you're allowed to carry your firearm with or without a concealed carry. It does not have to be concealed like it is in some states. We are an open carry state, meaning that as long as the person is without felony and over the at the age of 21 or over, they are allowed to carry a holstered sidearm.
Now, let's be clear here, okay?
Certainly.
There were 15 firearms there. Let's just say, because I don't actually know.
I believe there were 9.
Okay, 9. All right. 9 firearms. How many people died?
No one?
Nobody died.
No, not
How,
that I'm aware of.
how many people were shot and wounded but didn't die?
That would be 0.
Okay, wait, hold on. There's 9 firearms, these deadly, 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 horrible, horrible firearms, and nobody died.
I know it must be, oh, I don't know, responsible people carrying them.
It's it's a shame that we have to deal with this. If there was a weakness in the law, you would hope that the rental office would identify that and report it, but they didn't. We did. Not only that, instead of where they come in with a Fair Housing Act, instead of trying to keep up a flag, they did everything to take it down. And they kind of did it by force and coercion, where
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, you're bullying
It
and
was, yes, a bully act. Now,
yeah.
here's what gets me. It had been up for quite some time. Um, do you remember the year count on that?
No.
I'm wanting to say 36 years.
Yes, yes, 36 years.
Now, that was already up. It had already been mounted before they took over the compound.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are they damaging?
If you looked, they complained about her flag when their flags were tattered at the rental office, and they complained about her flag when they've done nothing to fix the siding. They've done
Yeah,
nothing. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a bad one.
exactly. Well, first of all, I don't think that the rule should have been implemented at all. And again, I think that legislation should be put in play to protect people who want to fly their flag, their country's flag.
Yeah.
Now, even if you take that out of account, 36 years, uh, that should have been grandfathered in.
Yeah.
There was no way in any way, shape, or form that it should have been a problem at all, not even remotely.
And when the rental office went in like some bullies and said you have to do this, and a lot of people thought they were going to evict her, is what they said. That's not what they said. They said they would come and take the flag. And
Um,
they
well,
they used it by they did this by force. When we came in to correct the weakness in the law and to correct what was going on, we didn't do it by weapon, we didn't do it by force, we didn't do it by coercion. We did it by the means of law. And then we took it a step further and we honored the situation with a ceremony, with a march, with all of this. And we thought that the media saw the difference between, friend and foe, Unite Ohio, who's coming in to try to make this right, and the rental office, who was using force and being quite bullyish to an 86-year-old woman. But with the Columbus Dispatch, I mean, you read them too. You read the other post. I just read the one, but everybody has the same question. Who was anti-government? How were they anti-government? And then why are you just going to throw in that there were people there with holstered guns all of a sudden? It
oh,
made
it's absolutely out of context.
yeah,
What some people seem to have forgotten is that the news, whenever they report something, there's two things they have to focus with on their information. First is its accuracy. Um, well, there's strike one. And again, maybe there's something we missed. Maybe somebody said something, but again, no one in my organization said anything like that.
yeah,
No
we
one in the militia said anything like that,
yeah
and I highly doubt anybody in United Ohio said anything like that.
yeah we spoke to the Ohio
So
members, and no one in Unite Ohio obviously is going to go say, "Hey, we're anti-government." Like you had said before, it makes no sense. Why would we do that? We've worked
yeah,
so
it
hard.
would be counterproductive. It would be counterintuitive. Um, And like you said, it can't be a grammatical mistake just by the way that is function. Anti-governmental is a very specific grammatical statement. I
Yeah.
can't I can't type in patriot group and my auto check speller change it to anti-government. It doesn't work that way. All right. Um, and if they're using a program that is that off, maybe they should update. Um, Now, again, if somebody said that, then please, uh, the Columbus Dispatch, please get back with us and let us know. That way we can remedy the situation and get in touch with that person. Um, if it was something that was just a narrative based off of stigma and stereotype, that's not really helping us break that stereotype or the stigma. Because, for instance, the militia that was there, um, Guardians of Society has been working with hand in hand to help break the stigma and the stereotype. They came to us and asked us how we can help them help the community. Um, because if you have a strong community, you have everything that you need to, uh, well, to survive. I'm using that word in very particular based on how our living standards are, how our economy is going. You always hear that people are out of jobs looking for work. Yes, we are all surviving. So some of the things that we've been teaching them is how to grow their own food so they can turn around and teach other people how to grow their own food. Been teaching them self-defense so they can turn around and teach other people self-defense.
You know,
Everything.
I wanted to touch
Go
on
ahead.
that. I wanted to touch on that. The Guardians of Society. You named two of the things that you guys do. What else do you guys have at your disposal right now that you're able to help the community with that you guys do?
Oh, well, um, there's the agriculture program, which is not just teaching people how to grow their own food, but how to save the seeds for next season, how to can so they can make it through the winter, um, what grows next to what doesn't grow well next to the other, which is called poly farming, polyculture, um, versus monocropping, which is a cash crop. Um, Along with that, we have a composting program which teaches you what can be composted, what can't. Um, I believe in the 2012 landfill report, 60% of things going into a landfill was a compostable item. Now, for those out there who don't know what compost is a whenever you take anything organic, be it coffee grounds, banana peels, things that break down on their own, and you put them all together in a pot, in a pile, they will actually break down, and they will create a very rich soil in essence. And then you mix that into the ground where you're going to be growing your crops, and it acts as a fertilizer substitute, even though it's been around longer than fertilizer. So I guess I should say fertilizer is a compost substitute. Um, and it gives the plants the nutrients that they need to grow. Now, 60% of the landfill in that year was compost. Um, I know that because we compost, and our trash has been cut down drastically. Um, I think we take 4 bags of trash out a week.
So you guys are,
Uh,
as the guardians,
Go ahead.
you guys are helping people save money. You're teaching them how
Yes.
to grow food where they can,
Hmm.
help themselves. You are teaching them self-defense so they can teach other people, and affiliated with another group that is about community outreach.
Hmm.
And you have militia that ask you guys for your assistance. You have Unite Ohio asking for your assistance. You come out after doing all of this work, and the major publication, Columbus Dispatch, after all of this work, after all of the effort you guys have put forth, doing a beautiful doing two beautiful flag ceremonies. Then the third one where we did the pledge. So there was three. You know, you put forth all of this work, and as an organization, when you come into a city and then you get reported on like this, before we hop off of here, um, tell me what that does to the resolve of the guardians of society.
Well, me personally, I'm a patient man. This is a bump in the road, a hiccup. However, I do find it confusing because it makes no sense. We, even just my organization alone, we come into an area to help, to do something that makes something better for everyone. And we get classified as anti-government, which, like you said earlier, is harmful. It can be harmful to our character, to our names, and if it reaches the wrong people, it can be physically harmful because now someone sees us and they may view us as a threat. And what's really upsetting is, like we had discussed earlier, there were children. Um,
Yeah,
that
and young,
why would you want to do something like that?
yeah,
Why would you even risk that possibility? But we're the ones who are the bad guys. So please, Columbus Dispatch, I implore you personally, help us get this figured out. If it was
absolutely.
just a mistake, a misunderstanding, let's work towards fixing that and getting that corrected. If if someone said something that was false, please let us know so we can get it corrected. Let's move on, get back to helping people um, in all the ways that we can, be it Guardians, be it Unite Ohio, be it the militia. Let's get back to actually creating something better because, quite frankly, today, as far as improving the community is concerned, today was wasted on trying to find out what was going on with one article that could have very well ended 3 very determined organizations, 3 very driven groups, 3 three populaces that want to actually make some good news, make something better, and this happens.
Yeah.
And it can all be thrown away due to an article. I mean, the Columbus Dispatch is the main newspaper for a reason. It's the biggest one, as far as I know.
Yeah,
A
no,
lot of
it
people read it.
is. You're absolutely right. It's a huge publication. And yeah, you're absolutely correct. We have
So,
um, we have
so
another.
please, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, we have another person that chimed in, and I wanted to repeat what they said.
Certainly. Let's hear it.
Tiny, Tiny said it's like the twilight zone of reporting. This type of reporting is another reason why we need to exist. Because if we didn't, there would be no one to stand up to the injustices in the media. Tiny, I agree with you 100%. It seems like we're going to investigate it and see what why that was printed and where they got that information. But absolutely, on the outside looking in, it looks like the twilight zone of reporting. I don't think I could have said that any better.
Picture, if you will. Um, Sorry, that was actually a play on Twilight. That's how they opened it. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. That is one of those things that would only make sense in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Um, and one thing that I've noticed, just on the Guardians page, we all day has been getting blown up with things, um, both good and bad. I've had people message me directly and say, hey, everything from thank you, that was a beautiful presentation, all the way down to, which I think they were being sarcastic whenever they said this, because again, it just doesn't make sense, and people see that. Uh, but I've had people message me saying, "Oh well, I didn't know that you were an anti-government group." Oh well, thanks.
I didn't know that either.
Me neither.
I had to read the
Um,
paper to find out. That's
yeah,
rough.
right. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Look who's talking. They're United Ohio. Uh, I thought you guys were a group of pretty swell people, but hey,
Yeah.
you're anti-government.
No, I read the paper and found out we're anti-government because we
Wow.
flag ceremonies and stuff. I don't know. I don't know why.
Guess we missed the memo. Being patriotic is now anti-government. Hey, actually, that reminds me. In the article, it said very specifically both anti-government and patriotic groups. That's kind of contradictory, isn't it?
Well, it's scary because they were put together like that. I mean, think about that. What a weird age are we living in that it was almost as if they were classified together. To be patriotic is to be anti-government.
Yes, I was thinking something similar now. I've taken a few psychology courses myself, and as a medic, we had to be trained in psychology for our guys in the field, because we were right there with them. They had someone to talk to. That sounds a little bit like a form of logic that is referred to as poisoning the well. If I take you into a courtroom and before you have a chance to say anything, I tell the judge, hey, you can't believe anything he says, he's a habitual liar, kind of screws you over from the get-go. Now, again, this could just be a misunderstanding, and the only person who can, or I'm sorry, the only group of people who can clarify that, give us a little clarity, would be the Columbus Dispatch themselves. And I personally can't I can't wait to hear their response. I want to get this sorted out because from a community improvement aspect, this is just eating up our time. I'm sure you agree.
I totally agree. We've spent an entire day trying to figure out what could have gone on, what could have been said. We really thought that we were enjoying a good rapport with the media. We thought that they were interested in the story like we were. That this elderly woman, when I was talking to her on the phone before we went out there, I said, "Ma'am, we're not going to let them take your flag." And to hear an 86-year-old woman, you could hear the relief, which means they stressed her out. And
Absolutely.
that's not okay. That's not all
No.
right. I mean, that's why we were there. It had nothing to do with whatever was said in the article. And I think people know that. So I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Not at
Really
all.
appreciate the guardians and the professionalism that you guys offer to the ceremonies, that you guys offer to all of the organizations that you guys help, whether it's Unite Ohio or the militias. The Guardians are top notch, and you guys showed that and made the organization for the event absolutely just incredible. You guys made the moments that no one's going to forget.
Well, we appreciate that, but at the same time, we cannot take the credit for this. If it were not for Unite Ohio, this flat out would not have happened. Um, so it is to you that I say thank you,
Well, we're
both
happy.
both both for the opportunity to have this to make this video, as well as for the opportunity to go out there and do what we did on Sunday, because we can do a presentation and a ceremony as professional and as accurate as we can, but if we don't know and there's nothing set up to do it, we don't get that opportunity. So seriously, thank you.
Well, again, you guys, the guardians of society, man. If the people that are watching this, if you guys don't know who they are, you don't know what they're about, check them out. Just they border the edge of extreme professionalism, and proud to have them around. Proud to have them with Unite Ohio. Really glad that we ran into you guys, that you guys came out. And I know we're gonna continue here in the future, and we're gonna continue to get bigger and everything, and we'll keep everybody up to date on this situation. Let them know what happens. Let them know what the dispatch said. Anything you want to say before we go?
Um, well, if anybody would like to get a hold of us, the Guardians of Society, we have a Facebook. It's just Guardians of Society. Um, we also have an email set up at guardiansofsociety@gmail.com. Um,
And then
and also,
how often do you
go
guys get
ahead.
how
I'm sorry.
often do you guys get together?
Um, well, if we have a a training thing where we're teaching people, that is based on when we can schedule that. But we have a group meeting every first and third Tuesday of the month, at American Legion Post 471, which we are based out of Southern Ohio, in Scioto County. The American Legion Post is in Portsmouth, Ohio. Also, we host a free self-defense class every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. which all of the details on how to get there, sorry, uh, how to go and participate in that is on our Facebook page. Um, those are really the only set in stone schedulings because, like I said, a lot of our teachings and trainings are done as the groups of people or even just the individual people come to us and say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you teach me how to do this? Um, and well, that's like I said, that's all the concrete set in stone things that we have scheduled out. And like I said, we are going and teaching the militia that was there. Um, uh, so that takes up a little bit, mostly my time, frankly. But there are other members of the organization that will happily get back to you if anybody wants to get a hold of us. Um, Again, we have a Facebook page and our email is guardiansofsociety@gmail.com. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to not only Unite Ohio, but to all of the groups that came out and showed their support on Sunday. Thank you to the militia. Thank you to thank you to the citizens that aren't really even part of a group. Those are the ones that really made me feel pride because everyone else had a scheduling and an understanding of and a goal they were working towards. But the people who weren't part of anything, they were there just strictly to show their support. They don't have a name to get out there. And that I really, really want to say thank you for. If any of you were there um, and you're watching this, seriously, a standing ovation. If it wasn't for the fact that it would probably kill my mic, I'd applaud you.
Well, I tell you what, man. Like I said, the Guardians were unbelievable out there in their handling and their care of the entire situation from beginning to end. Um, really appreciate you guys, and let me throw out FPRN Radio, big time supporters, Live Truth Radio, Overpasses for America, Forgotten Country, Moral, Get Better, Columbus Freedom Rally, Anonymous, Three Percenters, Ohio Militia, the Minutemen, Overpasses for America. We've just gotten so much help and so much support from all these different groups. We really appreciate all of you, and we'll be working with the Guardians in the future. So
We
we
look
appreciate.
forward to it.
Absolutely. We appreciate this, guys, and Dispatch, Columbus Dispatch, Ohio. I hope this reaches you, and you can answer not just our questions, but the questions of everybody that was there and everybody who posted underneath the publication. So again, Unite Ohio with sorry, with the Guardians of Society, and we appreciate your time tonight and your dedication to our country, and we look forward to working with you again.